Okay, now what we're going to do is set up the final part of the hydroponic reservoir. What you will do is take your net pot, your hydro tin, and your organic plug with your seed and place it directly into the hydroponic lid. Now at this point, you can see that on your drip head, you can adjust the flow for more or less water. The tighter you put the cap, the slower the flow. You want to make sure that it's at a drip rate of roughly 1 to 2 drips every 5 seconds. It's not very important if they drip slow or fast, just so long as they're dripping. And you'll see that the dripping will actually wick up through this cube, and then the water is going to actually drain down the bottom of the net pot into the reservoir. Now, what will happen is you'll eventually have roots, a root mass growing down from your net pot down into the reservoir. You have your fogger down here producing an extensive amount of fog, and your water pump, of course, is pumping through your drip lid. Your fogger float will be activated. We have the water level low right now so that you can see everything else functioning. And what we're going to do next is actually do a TDS reading, which is how you determine your nutrient levels. And the way you do that is you actually take your TDS meter, which came with your system, pop off the bottom cap, and fill that cap with water from one of the drip heads that's flipped to the outside of the system. It only takes about 5 or 10 drops, but once your cap is roughly half full, you can flip your drip head back into the inside of the reservoir, and you can take the reading from your nutrients. Now once again, your nutrients, whatever your water is starting with, you want to test the water prior to adding your plant foods. Now in this case, we actually haven't added any plant nutrients yet, and you can see our water is 142, roughly 150 ppm. Now ultimately, whatever level you want your ppm to be at according to your written instructions and additional videos, you have to subtract the total amount of your starting water, because these are your starting water pollutants. Now you can press hold, which will hold whatever your level is at the moment, or you can release it to let it, adjust slightly. Your units come pre-calibrated, so you shouldn't have to calibrate your TDS meters off the bat. However, we do recommend that you calibrate them roughly every 6 to 8 months. Now, if your parts per million, which is the number that this is reading, it's 153 ppm for parts per million. If it was 1530, it would actually say times 10 in this upper right-hand corner.